It's the 30th of September 2025. Welcome to UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Maureen Babidie and let's get right into it. Now this week, Uganda will be joining the rest of the world to mark the International Day of Older Persons, a day set aside to honor the contributions of the elderly. Now, while government highlights progress in social support programs for elderly citizens, challenges remain, including unresolved land disputes affecting thousands of older persons in Changwali, Chikube district. Our reporter Ivan Kahwa brings us to speed.
In 2022, we investigated the illegal evictions of residents in Kiangwali, Kikube district. That year, many of the displaced persons camped at the RDC's office seeking answers. Their concerns were valid, but to date remain unresolved due to protracted land wrangles. The majority of those affected were older persons.
Some of these guys are 70 years old, 80 years old. They even saw you their G taxes they used to pay so many years ago, even before the coming of the NRM government. And they are paying from that very land where they were evicted from.
Yongera kutubasa bitakubasa, yongera kutugarura amataka gaitu nyakusinga, herezo mwe bembezu yangu kutugarura amataka gaitu, reka tuyongere kuramya no kweshengereza ko ni warahanga, otkorre byokorra bukunda, ishemuka mu.
As the government prepares to mark the International Day for Older Persons on the 1st of October 2025, Minister of State for Older Persons Gidudu Mafabi says the government is handling the aftermath of the Kiangwali illegal evictions where over 2,000 people were displaced, including older persons.
No, we are aware and we've really asked the government to look seriously into it because as you realize, Kiangwali was upcountry. And most of the people up-country are the elderly. They own that land. And we are engaging the various ministries that are directly concerned to ensure that this issue is handled and the elders are actually compensated as the owners of that land, provided they show clear ownership.
Even as the situation remains unresolved, some progress is being made elsewhere. At least 13,449 older persons in 182 local governments have so far benefited from the Special Enterprise Grant. And beyond that, over 306,000 receive a quarterly cash entitlement of 75,000 shillings.
This has enabled older persons access basic needs and live dignified lives. All older persons are urged to contact their respective parish chiefs in case they need more details on said enrollment criteria. And the results show that out of the 1,022,902 beneficiaries of PDM, 3% are older persons.
However, some older persons are still excluded from such programs because they lack national IDs.
I appeal to all older persons to utilize the opportunity of the ongoing mass registration and update of National Register to be captured in the NIRA system to enhance their access to social protection and the government services.
Government is now considering new interventions, including special lanes for older persons at all service delivery points, free land registration services for vulnerable elderly to guard against land grabbing, free medical insurance for those above 80 years, and subsidized cover for others.
Establishment of sub-regional social gerontology centers to mentor caretakers of older persons and take care of older persons without alternative care.
Uganda has 2.3 million older persons, constituting 5% of the population. This year's International Day of Older Persons will be celebrated in Jinja under the theme Enhanced Household Incomes, a key to dignity and respect for older persons. President Yoweri Museveni is expected to officiate. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Thank you, Kahwa. Now, as different political parties and presidential candidates launch their manifestos and campaign plans in districts and cities across the country today, locals in the Acholi sub-region have shared with UBC TV what they want the next government to prioritize after the 2026 general elections.
Many of the political parties vying for presidency in the 2026 general elections have launched their party manifestos, which form a social contract between them and the people they seek to serve if voted into power. Bishop James Osan says the next government should work more closely with churches, especially in the area of community educations and social transformations.
I've seen many presidential candidates now launching their manifestos, but it is lacking in that the church is not being focused on. People take the church to be something that is not important in anybody's manifesto. But to handle programs and problems in the communities, we need institutions like churches.
People in Acholi says the manifesto should directly speak to the need of the citizens, especially the poor peasants in a rural area like in Agago.
There has been several government interventions for agriculture, but I believe these interventions should be reviewed to address the people who are directly impacted by this level of poverty. If you're addressing issues to do with agriculture, we don't need to call people in a workshop in the city. Let's go to the farm and talk to our people there.
Jennifer Apio appreciates government for establishing a health facility in various sub-counties, but urged the incoming leadership to prioritize consistent drug supply and recruitment of more medical workers.
Kama daktari tieba mabene gitiu eoni ginomiera waji daktari wagitiu mabera dada endo peo madum tio ya imagine ibichero nuonu ya pake.
Joseph Solanya wants the new government to reduce the number of the member of parliament, urging that fewer legislators will attract better quality service delivery to the people.
Size papali amea. Kian kama ti yendo mbiro karo ka ineno wel dano kian majone no romo konyo jo mukene da ka mukene sectors mukene.
Many residents expect the next government to prioritize road infrastructures, healthcare and education service delivery. Stephen Okello for UBC TV in Gulo.
Thank you so much, Okello. Now from Gulu, we head to Karamoja, where people in the sub-region want President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to focus on consolidating the gains of disarmament through compulsory, free and boarding education in the region, compensating for cattle lost during insecurity, releasing of warriors arrested during disarmament, improving water for production, cattle compensation, and considering Karamojong's own positions of permanent secretaries and commissioners in the government. Now, UBC TV spoke to some elders and local people about their expectations from President Yoweri Museveni for the next term.
Karamoja sub-region has benefited from peace and security, providing water for home consumption and for production, improving education, health and road network. Elders in Karamoja want President Museveni to consolidate the gains of disarmament by investing in education in Karamoja, focus on water for production across Karamoja sub-region, and releasing Karachunas arrested during disarmament.
When it goes back, that's what they have sold. Because you cannot imagine a boy of 20 years is in prison for 40 years. When he comes here, he will become useless. He will not do anything. And they have learned a lot. They have known how to cultivate, they have known how to milk cows, they have known how to keep the animals. But we need him to give pardon the Karamoja also. Let him pardon the Karamoja also. Because most of those boys are really languishing in these prisons.
Should set a way of giving setting for us what we call rainwater harvesting farming. Rainwater harvesting farming is a technical way of getting what we call rainwater harvesting farming. You use this rainwater, you collect this water for farming.
Get rid of the training arms of the next warriors through education. So look at the next generation, because we shall have a period when this other young generation matures, there will be chaos again. So one, enhance the livelihoods of the Karachunas so that they have something for their families. It can be through farming, it can be through opening.
The city if he can, we should have a city. Now,
Jackson Angela Adome, an elder in Moroto, wants President Museveni to compensate Karamojong's cattle lost during insecurity.
Him in the next move, in the next government reforms, he must restock us. As elders, we are saying, let him restock Karamoja. We have lost all the animals.
The chairperson of Karamoja Elders Association, John Nangiro, wants President Museveni to consult the Karamojongs on issues about the region.
involve us in government systems, not just as a by the way. We want to participate because it's our government and we vote rightly very much about it.
Ambrose Toliti has a message to President Museveni.
Want to see President Museveni have a peaceful transition by mentoring. This is one thing some people fear talking about. When we are talking about consolidating NRM, I'm a child of NRM, but we want to see this party transit to a new generation. We don't want to see NRM die like UPC, die like any other parties which we have seen in Africa. We want to see a party where it is handed over within the NRM so that we see the real strengths of the party.
Relatedly, elders want government to consider Karamojong in positions of permanent secretaries, commissioners.
Thank you, Farida, for that report. Now, on that note, President Yoweri Museveni launched the NRM Manifesto 2026 to 2031, presenting a bold vision for Uganda's future, not based on oil rigs, copper mines, or other extractive industries, but on laboratories, test tubes, and innovative-driven research.
We're going to save the world from so many problems. I've discovered medicine for cancer.
President Yoweri Museveni has emphasized that Uganda's wealth and job creation will increasingly come from science-based enterprises, biotech factories, and innovation parks. At the heart of this approach is what he describes as Uganda's pathogen economy, leveraging research into diseases to deliver both health solutions and economic growth.
Uganda's economy is going to be 500 billion in the next few years, instead of the present 66 billion. It is because of what I have told you here. The value addition, the diversification, now the knowledge economy. This knowledge economy, the economy based on science.
Driving this initiative is Dr. Matthias Magola and his team at Day Biopharma, a pioneering Ugandan biotech firm with over 100 US patents and breakthrough therapies targeting cancer, malaria, and diabetes.
There is one good boy called Magola. Come and buy shares in this factory. Let's see. That is Magola now. Now, a Kenyan bank called Equity wanted to come and take over the factory. We said no. Because once they bring it, they have the money, they can bring it. But once they bring it, they can shift the factory to Kenya. And we don't want our innovation to go away. So that's why it must be the science, the government supporting our scientists, and then you people coming in with capital, and you co-own. So I'm inviting you now.
Day Biopharma's universal mRNA cancer machine, priced below $100 compared to the global average of $500,000, is part of a broader push to position Uganda as a continental hub for gene and cell therapy.
Our people have found medicine, apart from the automobiles, the computers, the electric vehicles. Your people have discovered medicine for cancer, for diabetes, that malaria you're talking about. But what the appeal now I make, once the government has funded the research, because we fund our scientists, they do the research and the development of the product. When it comes to commercialization, you Ugandans come and buy shares.
In partnership with the Uganda Cancer Institute, Mulago Hospital is set to become a center of excellency for advanced biotechnology. For Dr. Magola, recently recognized as one of Uganda's faces of science, the message is clear. Innovation can cure diseases, create employment, and power Uganda's next economic leap.
But I remember always the words of the President Museveni. When I was starting out, you know, when you are starting out, everybody laughing at you. They are thinking it's not possible because Ugandans don't believe in ourselves. Africa don't believe in ourselves. When Kadaga talked about the things we are doing, everybody laughed at her. How can somebody from Uganda do a vaccine? We just kept quiet. Now, the hardest is technology. But how do you raise money without compromising what is African? Because this project is an African project. We want it to remain.
Compiled this
Even
report.
the money we want to raise should be African money. If I wanted to raise today money.
Thank you so much. Now, relatedly, leaders in the National Resistance Movement have pledged full support for the implementation of the party manifesto 2026 to 2031. The manifesto has been launched by the NRM party chairperson, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and among the key elements emphasized include enhancing digital methods of fighting against corruption in the public and private sector.
The National Resistance Movement, leaders from across the country, gathered at Speak Resort Munyonyo for the unveiling of the party's manifesto for the 2026-2031 term. During the event, NRM Secretary General Richard Todwong presented a report on the party's performance under the outgoing manifesto, which focused on the theme, Securing the Future. Todwong highlighted progress in job creation, attributing it largely to increased investment in industrial parks across the country.
We are happy to report that due to the prudent economic measures, new jobs are being created. Our jobs have increased from 258,286 in financial year 2020-2021 to 345,039 jobs. The shilling has been the most stable currency in Africa. During the financial year 2024 to 2025, our shilling gained value as many other currencies lost theirs. Factories have increased to an estimate of 50,000.
Despite the progress, Todwong acknowledged a persistent challenge with 33% of the population still trapped in the subsistence economy.
Proportion of households living in grass-thatched houses decreasing from 37.6% to 25% in the same period. Ugandans can now access safe and clean water. Currently, 68% of population in the rural within the walking distance of 500 meters and 71% in urban areas within a walking distance of 200 meters.
When you look at my side of Tororo Road, you look at Mbarara Road, you look at Gulu Road, he has really handled extremely on infrastructure, agriculture development. He has done on a modern agriculture. When you look at the BDM, whereby behind those days, we could not really afford even to do poultry.
The newly launched manifesto outlines key priorities, including expanded infrastructure development, greater investment in human capital, commitment to regional integration, and focus on nurturing the next generation of political leadership. Special interest groups, such as the fishing community, are expected to benefit significantly from government programs like Emyoga.
Because the fishing community will need a special fund for them, since for them 1 million and Emyoga is so little and their needs are bigger than 1 million. So if we focus those people who are supposed to benefit, in the next 2 or 3 years we should have reached almost everybody. Under Emyoga, we have so far spent 660 billion, and this financial year we are adding on another 100 billion.
For long the fishermen have suffered. They don't get tools, they don't get, like when others are given seeds, like maybe agriculture, on the side of animal industry, they get animals. For us, we have not been getting nets, we don't get boats, we we don't get, apart from aquaculture, which gets fingerlings. Now this time, the president has also given 1 billion per region, which is going to help boost. 1 billion should be able to help the circles, the fishery circles.
In addition, the party pledged increased investment in the energy and housing sectors. To support affordable housing, Housing Finance Bank will be recapitalized with the aim of lowering mortgage rates for Ugandans. Education also features prominently in the new manifesto. The government plans to pay over 50,000 teachers, a move intended to eliminate school fees in public institutions and ensure free access to education.
There has been teacher absenteeism, but the ministry has now gone digital in supervising teachers. They have introduced a system called Taylor.
To tackle corruption, the NRM plans to leverage digital innovations, including the introduction of body cameras, as part of its anti-corruption strategy.
Most of you watch TVs, international TVs or films. You see the police in the rest of the world have body cameras. Whatever they are doing, it is being monitored. So when we introduce them, gradually, maybe starting with metropolitan, we should be able to reduce on the level of corruption and good governance.
Leaders who attended the launch pledged full support for the manifesto and committed to ensuring its effective implementation to ensure that the gains are protected.
As a leader of the party, as a representative of the people of Pingire, I am part and parcel of the manifesto that has been launched. I do not have to have my own manifesto as a member of parliament for Pingire, because I am facilitated, sponsored by the party. So this manifesto that has just been launched is for the entire country. And so implementation now, starting from today, we are going to live here and we are going to rally our people, first of all, explaining to them.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for that report. Now we'll take a short break and return with business.
Vandalism is an offense punishable by up to 10 years in jail.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Form Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Form Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered the draw to win school fees.
Welcome back, and now in our business, communities in Choga Parish, Kamuli Sub-County have been sensitized on the importance of saving as a pathway to improving their livelihoods. The initiative is being championed by Team Up Uganda, a non-governmental organization dedicated to transforming lives through financial empowerment. Peter Aaron Sekanwaji, a resident of Choga and member of Bajabasaga Youth Club, says that saving has significantly transformed his life by enabling him to increase his income.
Proper and well usage of our money. Another thing, I've also acquired some money that has enabled me to get my business or reform on a large scale, whereby I started with a little amount of money. So now I'm growing huge, and it's on a large scale as now.
Never remember it was any kind of saving now. Plus, Corona plus saving in the 12 years. The 12 savings a chitono, saving a mitwaro, atano muena, atano. To savings a chinene to la mitwaro and sound, Kaka mueta, no Kaka Monana, moving. To saving up, saving up with a sour. Cafe, Chivina Chafechineno, November, Detina Mavachala Navami. Tuli abantu twatandika omwaka ogwedde wiki yaffe alina abantu 24 naye olwokuba nti twagenda tusevinga yaffe gye twayitamu twasobola okuba nga twafuluma bulungi sente zaffe era nga twali muntu n'omu asigadde abanja ekyamazima abantu ne beeyongeramu obungi abamu ne tubasalako na busazi era tiimu apo etukkiriza kubeera n'abantu 30 neffe tuli mu bantu 40 sevingi yaffe gye twayitamu twasobola okuba nga twafuluma bulungi sente zaffe era nga twali muntu n'omu asigadde abanja ekyamazima abantu ne beeyongeramu obungi abamu ne tubasalako na busazi era tiimu apo etukkiriza kubeera n'abantu 30 neffe tuli mu bantu 40 naye ng'era abamu baali bakyajja nga bakyalaga ntubagamba no kusooke mulabe ngeri guno mwaka gye tuna tupafominzeemu kubanga.
Thank you so much. Now, in a bid to empower the younger generation, young leaders have been emphasized and sensitized about the importance of promoting good governance, integrity and core values while leading others in community. This has been said by Mirembe Philomena, the Inspector of Schools for Wakiso District, representing the DEO during the Grand Induction General Assembly at St. Francis Junior School, Budo, under the theme Good Governance and Society Leadership.
To promote good governance and build a brighter future in their respective schools, because with a lot of integrity that I encourage them to have, we shall have a brighter future. This is not going to only stop in school. We are branding them to become very important leaders of tomorrow, and at the same time we are encouraging them to equip themselves with the core values that they will hold in the future, because we are expecting to have members of parliament from this National Executive Assembly. We are going to have leaders who have a lot of integrity, a lot of honest empathy, and by that we shall have a very bright future. And being that we are now in a globalized environment, once we get very good leaders, we shall have a better future for our country and for the whole world. So
we are facing, as the nation of Uganda, is the leadership crisis. We have found that some leaders that they lack that pigment of integrity. For example, fighting in parliament, breaking microphones, embezzlement, and so on. So that's why we urge the government that is headed by our beloved President, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the Minister of Education that is headed by the First Lady, Honorable Kata Hajete Museveni, to support these young learners, because our First Lady has been a very good example when it comes to leadership. He brought the new curriculum, and we like that. We like our President. He puts emphasis on patriotism. So basically, these learners are here to be patriotic, to have integrity, self-esteem, learn communication skills, and even how can they present themselves. So
our children have been exposed to a bigger audience.
I want my fellow prefects out there to be judged because they're short, because they're small, because they're having small voices.
Thank you so much for those reports. And now that brings us to the end of our lunchtime news bulletin. My name is Maureen Babidie. We thank you so much for your audience and good afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained